I would much rather have an actor that we weren't thinking about. Not just, this just feels like more of the same old. Like, it's like, man, there's other actors out there, right? Somebody else who could use this job, who could have brought something to it that's not white bread.
Yeah.
And theoretically, the only way that this will work, because of how it worked in Deadpool Wolverine, we have to have that knowledge of the Iron Man character and then go off of that as our starting point.
Yeah.
And that, for Doom, that's kind of disappointing. But I'm keeping it open-minded because it's an interesting angle, but I don't know if it's the right one.
Well, I agree with you. I'm keeping open mind. This is not me making any kind of definite statements. I don't know. We're just talking. That's the thing. We're just having a fun conversation. None of this is definite. We're not angry.
No.
We're not overexcited. It's just like, we're just telling you what we think, what our predictions, and our concerns. So they say, they say that, you know this, they say that you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Or you die and just be the villain anyway.
Or sometimes you can manage to do both.
Or you can, yes, exactly, man. Why not? That's what Robert Downey Jr. said. Shit, I'm Robert Downey Jr.
I can do whatever I want.
I can do whatever I want to.
I built this house.
Yeah, don't pin me down as one thing.
I just won an Oscar, goddammit. Yeah. I'm the greatest actor in the world.
Yeah, you know what? I feel a little bit loved too much. Why do y'all like me so? It's time for me to be an asshole. Well, I was back in the day when I was doing all those drugs. But now this time, it's time for me to be a super asshole, a super villain, if you will. And it's crazy because the Russo brothers, they killed this man one time before.
You want some more?
Yeah, and now they're the ones to bring his ass back. But not as who you think. He said, see, the people love me too much, man.
It's like, please, they just happy to get the exclusive.
Oh, hell yeah. He just happy to be in the same room.
Star.
Yeah.
Everybody in Hall H.
Just happy to be in there breathing his farts in.
Right?
Robert.
and I was there. So I saw it on the internet 5 minutes later.
It smelled like avocado.
New mask. Same task.
Getting them checks.
Milking the
New man, same task. Getting them Marvel bucks, bitch. Hey, don't nobody stay dead when you getting paid. Shit, I'll rise from that fucking grave quick for the right price. I'll snap my ass back.
What did I tell you? I like playing complicated characters.
Ain't nothing complicated about what you doing. You getting paid. Man. I know you. It's funny too, because all those fools out there, they were like, yesterday, they were all like, yeah! Today they're like, wait a minute, what the
Yeah, this morning they're on the internet talking shit.
Yeah, now they talking shit. Wait, what the yesterday you was over there just saying, yeah! Fuck you! Oh, Robert Downey Jr. not to do. But today, now that y'all got your head clear.
Yesterday was the party.
Yeah.
Today is the hangover.
Yeah. Exactly. Now that you done busted and got your head clear, now you're thinking like, wait a minute, what the this don't make no sense.
Yeah, right.
What was I thinking about? It felt so good at the time. But listen, y'all. So now that the excitement has died down on this, and we're talking about Robert Downey Jr., who just announced at Comic-Con, and it was funny too because I was talking to a dude that I was hanging with in Atlanta, one of the toast. He came out and he said, and he asked a question like, "Man, you didn't want to go to Comic-Con?" I was like, "Well, man, I'm here at the family reunion. I couldn't do that because I did have an opportunity to go to Comic-Con this weekend." And I said, "But man, listen, they ain't talking about nothing." I said, man, everything that goes on there, it comes on the internet soon after. Plus Marvel ain't announcing no big news no more over there.
Yeah, they stopped doing it.
Yeah, and then he said, and he said these words like, "Hey man, listen, at the last minute, They might say something. I ain't gonna say a goddamn. Wait, what the?
That's like me walking out of an Oscar show right before Chris Rock got slapped.
Yeah, she is. It's just like that. Because Mark walked out the Oscar show that time Chris Rock got slapped by Will Smith, and his last words were, "Man, ain't nobody doing at these Oscars anyway. It's just boring."
It's like he slapped me.
Goes all the way back to, man, ain't gonna be no Avengers movie. But if we had all heard this, like Robert Downey Jr. is gonna play Dr. Doom, we would have been like, no, he ain't.
Right.
Why would he do that? That makes no sense. But there were rumors going around.
Yeah, Julian Green called me last night to tell me, and I was like, what? And I was like, come on, man, that don't even make. He's like, no, really, get on the internet, check it out.
Yeah.
And sure enough, I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, he called me too. But now that the excitement is down, everyone is wondering, wait a minute, this don't make no goddamn sense. How is this going to work? Of course, now listen, of course, no one knows what Marvel's going to do. Shit, Marvel don't know what Marvel's going to do these days. They don't know what they're doing next.
Well, it seems sort of like that maybe they're having an idea again.
Maybe. And see, that's what we're going to talk about. See, that's the thing. No one knows what Marvel's going to do. You know, everybody makes these predictions. Everybody makes these arguments. Everybody takes these guesses.
And sometimes they're half right.
And sometimes they're not. Almost all the time they're not. But, you know, everybody has their theories. You know, so it's an internet thing. So no one really knows. But I did think it would be fun to maybe come in and talk about our initial reactions and take some fun guesses at how this whole crazy thing might work out. Like I said, we're not going to know, but hey, it's fun to just take a guess and see if any of it come right. Or if any of it will be right, which it won't.
No.
Did I say come right?
You did. I wasn't going to highlight that.
Well, that's what they did when they heard this news. Shit, everybody came green. And everybody had gonorrhea.
It's like they went to visit the Wizard of Oz with all this green light everywhere.
But, so I'm just going to go around the room as we talk about this. But I'll tell you my first initial thought on this. I said, well, and to explain this, so Robert Downey Jr. is going to be Dr. Doom, and the movie is going to be called Avengers Doomsday. And he's taking the place of Kang the Conqueror, who he's really taking the place of Jonathan Majors, who caught a case. And Marvel said, well, you know, shit, even if you know what, even if you didn't really do anything, well, everybody said you did. Or you just look bad, and
you got a taint.
Yeah,
sorry, phrasing.
So you want it too.
Yeah.
Well, we just can't get off these balls, can we?
Coming on these taints.
Yeah, your name is tainted, and it would taint the character, and
the mouse don't play.
And also, it might not have been so quick. Might not have been a strong decision had Quantumania been a big hit.
That's true. Quantumania was not a big hit.
I mean, even though you go like, he's the best part of it, yeah, but the movie itself and between Loki and this, the character has not been catapulted to the point where everybody's like, I got to see what he does next.
Well, also,
so he was disposable. You
know, and also, this whole multiverse thing is just not working out like they thought it would. It's kind of messy.
Yeah.
It's all over the place. And that's been the biggest argument. The movies have not been doing well since this whole multiverse phase. Some shows are starting to get criticized. You know, it's just Marvel's just not as profitable and successful as they were when they had a clear path of vision at the time. You know, and unfortunately, between him being a black man who, you know, kind of maybe assaulted a white woman. Shit, Mouse said, we can't have that at all.
Yeah, I mean, you know, back in the day, that would have happened. It would have been a thing that got reported and everybody moved on. But now there's the internet.
Yes.
And people who are just not going to let shit go.
It was self-defense, really.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into a whole case here. You know, that's Jonathan Majors and that's the thing. But really, it looked like it was self-defense that was going on with him. She was the one whooping up on him. But Mickey said, "You're black."
So I think Mickey Moore said, "I don't want to deal with this shit."
Yeah. Gone somewhere. Yeah. So because of that, this got changed from the Kang dynasty is what they were going to do to this character got put out, and now we have Dr. Doom in. And let me just say that I'm glad, first of all, that Robert Downey Jr. This is my first initial reaction. Robert Downey Jr. is not coming back as Tony Stark. Cool. Because he said he wasn't, that character had a good closing arc. It was triumphant. It was moving. You know, it was the perfect way to exit that character. So I don't want to see that character back. But then I said, wait a minute, he's a variant. They could bring his ass back as Iron Man again, just as an evil Iron Man. Yeah. Which is what they're kind of talking about. Hell, they could bring his ass back in blackface if they want to.
Shit. I saw a meme that said they could have brought him back as that character to be Kang, to replace Jonathan Majors.
See, I heard that he was going to come back like that for Blade.
Shit, come back as all of them. Hell, you know, every black character they got now, bring Robert Downey Jr. from Tropic Thunder back.
RDJ is Miles Morales.
They switched out Terrence Howard and didn't mention it, so
hell yeah.
They already have a precedent for it.
Shit, what's your boy that plays Rhodey now?
Oh, Don Cheadle.
I want Don Cheadle to be nervous that Robert Downey Jr. is coming back to take his place as a variant. Just have the same character from Tropic Thunder come back from Parallel Universe and just be everybody, every black person. Blade, he's Kang,
the Falcon,
all of them. See, you better watch out, black asses. I'm coming in for all of you.
I got away with it once. I'll do it again.
My black face coming for y'all black ass. You know, at first I was like, yeah, it was good they're not bringing him as Tony Stark, but Tony Stark could be brought in as anything now. And that's what they're saying. They're saying that that he could be brought in as a variant. Now
that's so cheap, though.
Yes,
isn't that what they're doing?
Well, nobody knows. See, let's get that clear. Nobody knows. They're saying that if he's a variant, first of all, if he's coming from another universe, another dimension, another path, and because they said that chances are he will originate in the Fantastic Four, and he'll probably end up being one of those stingers that introduces him, because the main character is Galactus,
right?
In that, and I gotta say, man, I'm like you, Martin. I'm not really loving this idea of a variant. Now, that was my criticism of Deadpool. So this whole multiverse cheat card thing that they got going on, I'm really not into that.
It's a little bit worrisome because they did it with Wolverine and Deadpool Wolverine, and I really liked it. But now this sets a precedent where it's like, okay, you guys can just like whip out these actors whenever you want, and it'll get old real quick.
Yeah,
that was a precedent they set with Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Yes,
and even when they first started toying, I've said this from the beginning. When they first started toying with multiverses, I said this is a bad idea. This is something you don't pull out until you've run through every story and you got no more ideas left. There's too early in the process to do this because it gets messy. It's going to. And you have a significant death and then it's cheapened by bringing somebody back.
And this is why I am personally so hard on cameos, guest appearances, fan services, because mostly it's all coming from this multiverse shit. And now anybody can be brought back. Anybody can be played by anybody, and it just seems like it's a cheat. And that's what's happening here with Dr. Doom. My whole thing with Dr. Doom, and I'm just a recent, over the past few years, a big Dr. Doom fan. And I love the character, man, because Dr. Doom is a humorless, egotistical, obsessive, stubborn-ass asshole.
Yep. Who
runs his own country.
I love all that about him. I love his Eastern Europeanness.
That's the thing.
And the fact that he uses sorcery and science.
Yeah, but that's the thing. He's also European. And it's something about, and again, I don't want to put a whole culture down our people, but there's just something about him being European that adds to it, and
well, especially for you right now, I'm sure.
Let's not get it. He's talking about making my ex-wife Dr. Doom.
Now that sounds scary, huh?
I'm down for that one. That's just plenty scary to me.
But that definitely is a trope, like the classic European accent.
But it's man, his identity is wrapped in his origin story. His origin story is hilarious, and maybe it's legend now.
Yeah.
And maybe because I grew up watching all the Marvel cartoons where more than once they talked about him, and it was always Dr. Doom's biggest thing to me is that he's evil because he up and he knew it. He knows it.
Yep.
Like, and he's too egotistical to blame himself.
To blame himself.
Now he's mad at the world.
Yeah.
And just and now he's a bigger narcissist than ever.
Hey, Vic, I've been going over some of your notes, and I'm afraid you're a couple of decimal points off on some of your figures.
Fuck you! Get the out of, I know what I'm doing. See, that's what he's telling him, like, hey, look, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
My lab.
I'm this dog. You go on with your football friends.
And my man is like, oh, well, I tried to tell you.
I have no time for you. Okay, find out for yourself.
and he did the whole around and found out. He went in there, put on his hair dryer like he's at a salon and blew his ass up.
At last.
I'm glad that asshole is out of here. Tell me about myself. I know what I'm doing. You know, so shit. Don't tell me what to do.
His experiments ended abruptly.
Well, try to tell him. And so that's the thing about it, man. He blew himself up, and it was his hubris that's making that disfigured him, and now it's the same thing as just kind of keeping him. Well, his morals go all over the place. Sometimes he's evil, sometimes he actually makes sense. But there is something about him where he's driven by anger, and it's just fascinating. Shit! What is that?
What have I done to myself?
That's still hot.
Here he became
That eye popping out.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know, him being a variant now of Tony Stark, I don't know if this is going to happen or not. It just worries me, but that they might take all that great lore away, you know, and change the essence of the character.
Well, yeah. I mean, one of the things, you know, as much as they did it in Deadpool Wolverine, they so made fun of it in such a way as almost to say like even acknowledging that, like, yeah, this has gone off the rails, as if to say like, all right, well, maybe we know it's bad. We don't need to do this anymore. So seeing this, it's a real disappointment, especially like Robert Downey Jr. You know, I'm joking, but clearly he is one of the greatest actors, you know, the greatest living actors, maybe of all time. You know, he finally won his Oscar, but he's been nominated before, and he pulls off blackface. He can do so much. But at the same time, I would much rather have an actor that we weren't thinking about. Not just, this just feels like more of the same old. Like, it's like, man, you know, there's other actors out there, right? Somebody else who could use this job, who could have brought something to it that's not white bread.
Yeah.
And theoretically, the only way that this will work, because of how it worked in Deadpool Wolverine, we have to have that knowledge of the Iron Man character and then go off of that as our starting point.
Yeah.
And that, for Doom, that's kind of disappointing. But I'm keeping it open-minded because it's an interesting angle, but I don't know if it's the right one.
Well, I agree with you. I'm keeping an open mind. This is not me making any kind of definite statements. I don't know. We're just talking. That's the thing. We're just having a fun conversation. None of this is definite. We're not angry.
No.
We're not overexcited. It's just like, we're just telling you what we think, what our predictions, and our concerns. And that's the thing right there, man. You take away him being European, you take away his background, you take away his background origin, you take away the essence of this character, what made him so great. And also, I mean, if he's going to be Tony Stark, you taking away one of the best things. Victor Von Doom, the name.
Exactly.
That's such a great name.
It is. You know, they did something in comics a few years ago where Tony Stark died and Dr. Doom, you know, the actual Victor Von Doom, was kind of affected.
Infamous Iron Man, right?
Yeah, was affected by it. And he was just like, you know what? I should be doing good in the world. I'm going to take over as Iron Man. And he did it for a while.
But the thing is, another thing. But
it was the reverse.
It's the reverse, and it's still Victor Von Doom.
Yes.
It's not Tony Stark, an evil Tony Stark or something. Yeah. Which I understand the connection here. You know, Doom has armor, Tony has armor, so you're probably thinking like, you know, evil Tony Stark would probably make a Dr. Doom like armor and do the things that Dr. Doom would do. But I don't know, man. I wish it was just a separate character. I hope. We don't know yet.
But his statement of different mask, same task, is that like him saying like his task now is like, I'm going to protect the world, but it's my way.
Mm-hmm. I think so. And one of the subtle things that I noticed that I don't know if people are talking about it online, but the mask that he was wearing is very specific and it looks kind of like an Iron Man mask. So there's a little bit of similarity there already.
Really?
The eye shape I noticed on the mask that he takes off when he did the big reveal. It's got a little bit of that Iron Man like forehead and eyes.
Okay, now that would be interesting because that brings up another question right here, but see, that's just like I said, man, all of this, we're just speculating, voicing concerns. So maybe we'll even talk about some things that we like, but this is one of the things that I'm worried about with the multiverse thing. Mm-hmm. It can actually make things confusing. Yes. And that is why I think Marvel is kind of where they're at right now because things are not clear. And the multiverse has actually made things very messy. And now, now we're taking a character that everybody loves and now he's Tony Stark. You're just going to confuse people out there, and everybody's going to need better help before it's done, man.
Bravo. Bravo.
Hey, listen, I should be Dr. Doom the way I did that right there. I mean, listen, that was a serious statement that I was making. I'm not just doing a lead up. But, hey, listen, all of us are a little confused right now. I can need a little therapy. Let me go ahead and take a word out for our sponsor right now, which is BetterHelp. Here's the great thing about online therapy and with BetterHelp right here. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient. It's flexible. It's online, so it's suited to your schedule. You can do it your way, your style. Do you like talking to people face to face? Well, make it a video call. If you don't, that's understandable. Phone call will do just fine. And it's easy to get into. Just fill out a brief questionnaire and you'll get matched with a licensed therapist of your choice. And listen, I don't know if your therapist ends up being, I don't know, Dr. Doom. And you're like, listen, this ain't really working out.
So tell me about your problem.
Yeah. Hey, can I get somebody else?
Your problem is that you're an idiot.
Next. Hey, listen, if you don't like that therapist, then they'll switch you out, no charge at all. And hey, here's something that's gonna make you feel very much at ease. A discount. And I got that for you right here. Go to betterhelp.com/doubletoasted and get 10% off your first month. I want to thank BetterHelp for sponsoring this portion of the show. And of course, I want to thank all of you out there for your help and your support. All right, so getting back into it, man. Going back to something that you said, Martin. Now, again, there's a wait and see right here because they can handle this in many different ways. But I agree with you. I think there's so many actors that could have played this role, and who knows, maybe down the line they will. But there have been some big names tossed around out there. Now, starting out with this, let's just say you do go with the variant route. You're taking another actor that's already been in the Marvel universe. You know who I'm talking about.
Yes, I do. Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah, look, he's grabbing Marvel right now. I'm right here.
Thank you.
Yes, they've been asking for me. Mads Mikkelsen. He's got the whole demeanor. He's Dr. Doom in real life.
Right.
He's got that accent for sure.
Yeah. He's got the accent. He's got the demeanor. Yeah. I mean, his Hannibal Lecter was just, is this close to Dr. Doom.
Exactly. No, he's always been like, oh, y'all put him in Doctor Strange. You should have saved it for Doom. I'm just telling you.
That's the thing. He was in Doctor Strange. Mm-hmm. So now that we got a multiverse, we can actually make that happen.
Yep.
But who knows, man? Now, I'd love to hear some of your names, but I agree. I think the most popular name that was being thrown about to be Victor Von Doom, Cillian Murphy. A lot of people, I like him. I think he'd be great.
I like him. He's just a slight man.
You know what? He just looked like a dude that'd be just pissed off, like Dr. Doom. I don't know. He's such a great actor. I always like him. He's a personal favorite of mine. So,
yeah. No, it's not like he's not a good actor. Mm-hmm. Robert Downey Jr. is a good actor. Yeah. They're both great actors. It's not about that.
Let me give you another name, Nick.
All right, throw me another name.
What do you think about Cillian Murphy?
Cillian Murphy, I think that he's awesome. I think another person who is not like repeating a character, like even what's his name, the first guy who you mentioned. Mads Mikkelsen. I think he's great, but he already played someone. At least for Robert Downey Jr., it kind of makes sense that they're doing that. But a new actor would be even better because then you wouldn't need to go through a goddamn portal.
Yeah. I thought this guy, if you want to go with somebody new, I love Cillian Murphy, and I would love to see him do it because it seemed like if Marvel was going to get somebody like, oh, this guy won an Oscar. Big name.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of submitting myself to that answer. But I think if I was casting, the one I would do is what's his name?
Nicholas Waldo.
Jamie Lannister.
Yeah, Captain.
Nicholas Coster Waldo.
Yeah, you go.
I would actually love for him to do that. He's got the accent.
Well, he's got that handsome face that would get disfigured. So when his face got messed up, you'd be like, ooh.
He'd be real pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, let me see here. Now, I don't know how popular this would be with people, but I remember a long time ago I was talking about this with somebody else. Dan Stevens, I thought would be good because he's such. First of all, this guy is so handsome. Second of all, he every other role he looks different.
Oh yeah, he's a chameleon. Definitely for sure. I don't know how his accent would be. I don't know, man. I watch things with actors like they seem like they're like, let me do this accent for this role, and it's like, yeah, okay, but you could probably do better if you weren't having to struggle with that.
I think that he's such a good actor, he would do it. Because I've seen him do so many different roles, so many different personalities, so many different accents.
Yeah, it's true.
So I would love Dan Stevens to do it. Probably unpopular opinion with people, but this name has been thrown around. A lot of people thought that they might give this dude a chance. You gonna hate it.
Am I?
You gonna hate it? Yes.
Okay.
I'm just preparing you right now. Henry Cavill.
Oh no!
Good Lord.
That name is being thrown around.
You just did that just to f- me. Nobody's throwing that name around.
I don't know, Martin.
The only person throwing that name around is you.
Did I, Martin? I don't know. Did we? Did we? Don't hate Martin.
It would be Superman.
Good Lord.
Oh. Martin wants to throw his hat at me right now.
You know who would be
kind
kind of neat? I think maybe he's a little bit old, but Bryan Cranston would have been a cool choice. Him with an accent would be crazy. I don't know if he would do that, but I could see him. I mean, he's always been an evil guy.
Well, he'd be making that green meth.
Green.
Yeah, I know. Listen. I don't judge actors until I see them in the role. So I would say anybody, if somebody saw something in them to do that role, like Bryan Cranston's a great actor. Yeah. It wouldn't be my first choice, but if they said him, I'd be like, all right, they saw something there, and he's awesome.
Right. No, with the exception of Henry Cavill, everyone you said is a great actor. It's a really good actor. So they could probably do something.
So the other thing with him coming back, look, this could probably work because maybe they're just doing something where Marvel might have something in mind where it's great. The only thing is, I'm thinking, you know something? Everybody was saying this before this whole thing, this whole thing with Kang up here. Everybody was saying, you know something? People loved Kang because people were in love with Jonathan Majors.
Yeah.
But people now are saying that they replaced him. They said, you should have done this the first goddamn place.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a natural. It was such a natural progression for Dr. Doom to be the next big villain.
Yeah. I was talking to somebody online today, some friends, where they were like, this and that, and I was like, well, I never liked Kang in the comics. It always felt like he's a fill-in because, well, we can't use Dr. Doom every month. He'll get overexposed. So we throw Kang in there a little bit.
Yeah. No, I hear you, but so. One of the things that they could be doing, and again, I don't know how I feel about this, but maybe he'll be just there for a short period. Maybe he'll come out, be something big for the Fantastic Four, and then since we're playing with variants, maybe they'll kill this version of Dr. Doom or get him out the way. Maybe he'll go and be some other person, and then maybe after that, the real Dr. Doom will come out.
With the real Dr. Doom, please stand up.
He'll come out some green ass portal.
That somewhere. Would be a good twist. I would like that.
I mean, I could see them. That's something I could see them actually doing, where Tony Stark is a variant evil Tony Stark is a variant Doctor Doom, and then the real Doctor Doom comes in and says, "All right, bitch, I'm here."
Yeah,
and may kill
that would be cool because Doctor Doom has a time machine, so he could just step forward and be like, "All right, enough of this."
So it would be like the reverse of what you were saying, how like Victor Von Doom picked up the mantle of Iron Man. Just do the reverse of that. Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if you had Tony Stark and then the real Victor Von Doom came in later saying, because he'd be really pissed. Who's this bitch up here playing me? No, fuck that. No, I don't care how much good or bad you're going to do. I don't care how great you are, especially if he's kind of equal to him. You're going to be like, nah, there's only one Doom out here. That would be kind of a cool twist.
Yeah.
The other thing, though, and I hope they do something like that, but even, I don't know, again, this is my biggest fear, is that, and this is a question for y'all, do you think, before I sit up here and even make any kind of assumptions or heavy opinions here, do you think that this, in a way, feels like it could cheapen Tony Stark's story, his sacrifice, the way he went out?
If he is Tony Stark, yes. Variant or not, yes, it can.
Yeah. How you feel, man?
I got to see how they do it, but if they just make him Tony Stark, but I'm angry this time, that kind of is lame.
Really, I'll be honest with you, man. This is kind of stuff that is making me get my own fatigue. I'm getting tired of some superhero movies because everybody is doing a multiverse pattern now, a phase that we're going through, a fad or something, and everybody's bringing out all these characters.
Even when it's not a multiverse or time travel, it's a reboot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, this has been my fear of multiverses, man. Just kind of like you said, it started kind of with to be honest with you, started with No Way Home. Mm-hmm. Is it No Way Home?
No Way Home.
Mm-hmm.
I was critical of them bringing in the superheroes the supervillains for nostalgia. I think they used them. They just weren't walk-ons. So at least they used them. But I was like, this is one of those things that just it doesn't feel like 100% pure inspired storytelling. Some of it is like reeks of fandom and corporate, decision making here to come and to cash in on this. And now we're getting to this point where, it's too easy to bring these characters back, either for cameos or casting actors over and over again because they're brand recognition.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things I'm thinking about is Tony Stark trying to, is he being, or not Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr., is he being used to bring Marvel out of a slump by his name? And also because he's a profitable actor and they paid him enough to do that. And also you were right. And both of you, they're kind of rebooting all these storylines now. Repeating storylines.
Well, I'm just saying, with all the movies, they're repeating that, but at least DC's not doing that. But they keep rebooting their movies every few years, so it's
they don't get a chance to get that far.
Yeah.
What we were just talking about, it prevents creative casting, which is exciting.
That was always one of the things that was exciting. Like, oh, who are they going to cast? And when they would cast it right, it's like, oh man, I can't wait. Yeah. Which is one of the unfortunate things with the whole, Pedro Pascal, which is like, hey, I like this dude, but this casting here is not really working. And is he going to shave his mustache?
No.
Right.
Yeah.
This falls along with the this is what we're doing with casting, huh?
Yeah.
Used to be your casting would get me excited, and now. But I'll say this, when Julian called me about it, I was like, man, that kind of sucks. And looking it up, it's kind of bummed out. And then I went to bed and woke up this morning and I'm looking on the internet and seeing how nerds are really fired up and angry over it. And your whole, like I'm writing Marvel off. And it made me go, calm down. They're just here for these movies are just here for entertainment.
Yeah.
And most of the time they are. They might not be, always great or they're kind of half-assed, but they're usually entertaining on some level.
Some of it is reactionary. Some of it is justified criticism, just like the criticisms that we gave. And also it's just a shame that, we see the business side of things come out. You have a great story arc for a character. This is why why I don't like the multiverse stuff right now, because you have these great storylines and arcs, and they're just cheapened by, these cheats that happen. And, that's concerning to me.
Yeah. And I can say, somebody who reads comics a lot, this is what happens in comics all the time. It's not good.
Yeah.
Just because it happens all the time doesn't mean it's okay, we repeat that. It's like, no, that's actually one of the things to fix.
No, I agree. I agree with that, man.
And it is exciting, but this is a perfect example of them having the opportunity to totally trip over their dick. It's like, look how cool I was. You really just overdid it. I think that there's potential, but it's scary.
I think you're right, because another thing that I've heard and I agree with, this was my big first reaction, is that since I had been thinking they should have Doom for so long, now that they didn't do it and they're replacing another storyline, they're replacing another character, it feels rushed.
Yeah.
Dr. Doom is somebody you don't rush.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd rather them just find another Kang instead of rushing this character out.
Right.
Unless they have a really good idea for this. I wonder if they actually had this idea in place in some form or another, because the Russo brothers have been talking about Secret Wars for a long time.
Yeah.
And Dr. Doom is a huge part of that story. So, and I think a lot of people would have been a little more upset if they actually replaced Kang to be the Dr. Doom character in this, since it's such a huge epic story.
Right. I mean, there's enough similarities to where if you had a Kang script, a Kang story, and somebody said, hey, we don't have the rights to Kang anymore, but we do have Dr. Doom.
Yeah.
And you plug Dr. Doom, you could actually write a better story.
Really?
With Dr.
Really?
Doom. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a much richer character.
You talking about Dr. Doom?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I wonder if they had this in some form or another, this idea already kind of out there.
Right.
And that's the only thing that makes me think maybe this is not so rushed. Maybe they already had it there and they're saying, all right, it just makes sense to plug it in here since we already have it. I don't know. Maybe. I'm not behind the scenes with this. But, I'm one of the people that thought it would have been, just to have the natural Victor Von Doom storyline out there. But who knows what Marvel's going to do? It might actually be surprising. It might be like, oh, shit, let me shut my ass up then. That's what you were going to do. Yeah, so who knows, man? Who knows?
Another person that would have been cool to cast, but he just announced his character in the new Captain America movie, Giancarlo Esposito. That would have been a cool option as Doom. I could totally see him pulling that.
Yeah,
I know I'm just saying Breaking Bad characters, but those are some great actors that were on that show.
He's now. Everybody was speculating about him. They thought he was going to be. They thought he was going to be Xavier, but he's.
That's right.
He's in the next Captain America movie.
Sidewinder.
Sidewinder. Yeah.
What's up, guys? I just want to make a correction about the whole Robert Downey Jr. Doom discussion. The Russo brothers, who are coming back for the two Avengers movies, said that Robert Downey Jr. is actually playing Victor Von Doom and not an Iron Man variant.
I don't believe that.
We'll see, maybe. I see Downey just being Doom for the two Avengers movies, and then they'll push the reset button, and we'll get a brand new Doom. Why is this so...
Enough with the resets.
God damn.
No, wait. We get mad off something G. Colby said. We don't even know if that's really what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. But if it is, no. And I don't think it will take anything away from Tony's death if executed. Well, I agree with that. We haven't seen it, so that could be true. Let's see here. Similar with how Deadpool and Wolverine handled Wolverine.
Yeah.
But that would make him Tony Stark if they did it like that.
It'll be the rare case where an actor played two different characters within the same continuity. Sorry, I had to put the dog down, y'all. He'll likely be from the Fantastic Four universe. That's what I was saying. But I truly hope that he won't be another Tony Stark. It could be smart if he's Doom, who simply looks like an MCU Tony, and seeing a world that not only mourns him, but worships him. He'll see it as an opportunity to take rule by pretending to be Tony resurrected. That could be interesting. And let's just say this. Robert Downey Jr. is a great enough actor to where if he had to come in and do a European accent, I think he'd be able to do it, So, why not? Anyway, we'll see. We'll see what they do. Interesting theories people are putting out there. I'm like reading this. Jen Rowe. He says one possibility could be, what if Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom is just one of Doom's robot decoys, with the real Doom manipulating things behind the scenes before he reveals himself? He'll be using Tony Stark's image to play head games. Then when Reed Richards gets a look at him, he'll say, that's not Victor. Then we'll get the big reveal. That might not be the case, but it will still keep Stark's sacrifice intact. Hey, who knows, man? Now we're getting into the theory territory where those things never really work out. But I like the way you think.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, who knows, man? And I think it'll be interesting what they'll do. Maybe they have something big under wraps. We'll just have to wait and see. But great, it's been great reading these.
That would be funny. Have somebody show up and go like, That's not.
Yeah.
What?
Y'all believe this shit?
I do trust the Russo brothers, though. They
Yeah.
they have a really good track record
They do.
with these movies.
Well, you made it to the end of the video. That must mean you really like what we do. So if you do, check out these other videos just like this one. Check out our other YouTube channels and subscribe to join our wonderful Toasty community. And as always, stay toasty.